Okay, so at the same time as the Imperial Guard are fighting the Orcs, further to the south, in a near eerily identical city, the Eldar have come here to battle the Dark Eldar. So this is going to be a battle of the superior race. We're going to be trying to take this central, the tallest building, which is this one here in the centre. Whoever controls this one at the end of the game will get 6 victory points. You can control it if at the start of your turn you have a troops unit or an elite unit which is in the building and the enemy doesn't have any denial units in the building. This is also a kill point mission, so there's points available for people who want to wipe out entire units. They're worth 1 each. There's also a point available for killing the enemy warlord, and the usual point available for first blood, and the point available for getting one of your units into the opponent's deployment zone. So let's see how it goes. Okay, the Eldar have brought 1250 points to the battle. We're being led by this Faaris IV. Because of the mission, the Faaris IV has digital weapons and a master crafted witchblade. He's also got spirit stones, and I've taken some powers from the new deck of cards. He has the invisibility power, the psychic shriek power, and prescience. He has brought with him a unit of 8 harlequins, which have a death jester and a shadow seer with them. A unit of 9 striking scorpions. They're led by an exarch with chain sabers. I know it looks like a power claw, bear with me. The stalker power, which gives them move through cover, and shadow strike, so they can infiltrate. He also has a unit of 8 rangers, a unit of 10 dire avengers led by an exarch with 2 shuriken catapults and the bladestorm exarch power, and they'll be in a wave serpent with twin linked shuriken cannons and an underslung shuriken cannon. We're trying out a new unit here, which is a unit of 3 Shadow Weavers. And we've got this unit of 10 Storm Guardians, which are led by a Warlock with Destructor and a Singing Spear, and they've got 2 Flamers in there. And they're also going around in a Wave Serpent with twin linked shuriken cannons and an underslung shuriken cannon. My Warlord power is the legendary fighter, so every time this Faaris IV kills an enemy character in a challenge, I'll gain an additional victory point.
Okay, so I'm bringing 1250 points of Dark Eldar today. Now I shall start with an apology. Mark unfortunately has had to leave early, as we said in the last video, and this is his army, so I don't really know a whole lot about what I'm doing, but you'll have to bear with me. So first of all, let's go through what he has taken in his army. We have Baron Saffronax, and he is leading a large squad of 20 Hellions. Those ones back there, just imagine they've got riders on, okay? Then we have 5 of the Incubi, led by their squad commander, and they're riding around in a Venom with the extra cannon. We have 6 jet bikes. They've got a Heat Lance and cluster caltrops. There is a Ravager back there with the standard 3 Dark Lances. We have a Raider, which has 10 normal Dark Eldar Cabalite warriors inside, and they have a Splinter Cannon. Then we have 10 Witches. They've got a leader who has a power weapon, and they're also mounted up in a Raider.
Not fine. Okay, we've rolled, and the Eldar have won and the roll off and decided to go first. So they have chosen this corner of the table to set up in, with the Dark Eldar over here. The Eldar have a Medicae facility in the centre of the table, which allows them to feel no pain when they're inside the central ruin. They have an ammunition store here, which the Rangers have taken shop in, and the Rangers have also got the expert sniper stratagem, so they're quite lethal. We have our Dire Avenger Serpent and our Storm Guardian Serpent here. The Striking Scorpions infiltrated a little bit further forward, but weren't quite able to go and set up inside the central building. Harlequins are set up here along with the artillery just behind them. And here's all these Dark Eldar along here, bikers and raiders and ravagers. We've got a whole building full of hideous Hellions. What's it called?
Incubi inside of Venom?
Venom, and another, this is the Witch Raider over here. Okay, so the Dark Eldar have decided they do want to seize initiative, so let's see how they manage.
On a 6.
Oh no, that's really bad for the Eldar.
Excellent. Okay, so it's Dark Eldar turn 1. Due to my Warlord power, I got to automatically state that it was night fighting start of the game, which is quite a big advantage when you're playing Dark Eldar. Also, I stole the initiative, didn't I? So, pretty sweet. I went for a bit of an alpha strike. I moved over here with my Ravager and a Raider. The Ravager fired over and blew up a Wave Serpent that was over there, which somehow took 5 of the Pordara of engines inside with it.
A leadership check then.
Oh yes, a leadership check. Let's do that on camera quickly.
8, they're okay.
They're okay. The rest of my turn was basically wanting to take out these striking Scorpions. Being an elite choice, they are scoring this game, as that's how we're playing the city fights. So they could come in here and claim this building. They'd be quite hard to stop once Faaris cast invisibility on them. So I moved in with my 21 Hellions into this building. They all shot at the striking Scorpions. All of my little jet bikes over there, they shot over the top and used their cluster crowd drops and things to deal damage to the striking Scorpions. Over here, the warriors had disembarked into this building using one of my stratagems which lets me disembark to any level of a building. I spread them out there. They also took pot shots at the Scorpions. I don't think there was anything else I fired at them, but I whittled them down. There are now just 2 Scorpions, an Exarch and the Faaris left. Not really much of a combat force. Yes, another leadership check. We're not very good at remembering mid-game. They're okay. Bit unfortunate. Other than that, did I do anything? I don't think so. I moved around over here. The witches are in that raider there, and the incubi are in their venom there. Both of those also fired at the striking Scorpions. So, as I say, I fired more or less everything at them.
Eldar turn 1. The Storm Guardians have disembarked from this Wave Serpents. They raced back here and flamed all the Reaver jet bikes to death. Meanwhile, we pushed up with the Harlequins and the striking Scorpions. I don't know if you can see them on camera, they're hiding out in the basement there. And we unleashed pretty much everything into the Hellions. I think we killed about 9 of them in total, which forced a leadership check. Unfortunately, they failed their leadership check and have thus moved back to here, which meant they were out of the range of my Harlequins charging, so my Harlequins have been left out in the open and feeling like chumps. We'll see how we do on turn 2.
Okay, so it's Dark Eldar turn 2. The night fighting has ended. So firstly I manoeuvred both of my sailing boats over here and took pot shots down at the Wave Serpent there, but failed to do anything. The Hellions regrouped and moved into the building, and then they, along with the Cabalite warriors and this Venom, which has relocated to the top of this building, all opened fire on the Pathfinders, which were in here, or the Rangers even, which were in this building. Paul was really unlucky on his saves, and all of them died to the last shots. We left the Harlequins alone, just in fact I couldn't get them out in the open, so even though they looked like they were in the open, one of them was always in cover, giving the unit a cover save of 2+, so not favourite. The Incubi disembarked from their Venom and charged in against the striking Scorpions. We both rolled pretty poorly in this combat, each managing to kill one of the opposition, so drawn combat in the end. This Raider, which is hiding down here, moved forward 6, disgorged its witches, who then charged forward, and even though he flamed me, I managed to get into close combat with his Guardian squad. I killed a couple of them with my pistols first, and then wiped them out in the ensuing assault. Anything else? I don't think so. That's end of my turn 2.
Eldar turn 2. This Wave Serpent pulled back and took some shots in at this Raider, managing to put 2 hull points on it, so that's only got 1 left. The Dire Avengers down here opened up with a Blade Storm on the Witches, reducing them to 2 models. The Weavers over here took some shots at this building, which is packed full of Hellions. We managed to get some nice hits in there, killing a few of them. I think another 4 or 5 of those. So the numbers are slowly coming down. And then the Harlequins charged in the building to rescue the beleaguered striking Scorpions and butchered the Incubi to a man. So a pretty good turn for the Eldar here, but is it enough to get them back in the game?
Okay, it's Dark Eldar turn 3. I manoeuvred both my Raider and my Ravager over here to get line of sight through buildings onto the last remaining Eldar vehicle. My other Raider over here also took a pot shot with his Dark Lance, 4 Dark Lances. I got 1 through, but then he made his Jinx save, which is a bit annoying. Over here I opened up with the Hellions on the Harlequins, who are sitting inside the cover with a 2-up save. I got 10 wounds on him and he failed 4 of the saves, reducing the squad to quite manageable numbers. So then I assaulted in and Hammer of Wrathed him to death before he could attack me. The warriors up here moved slightly forward in case they would be needed, and this venom that's hiding at the top of the building all fired down onto the striking scorpions. But again, they've got a 2-up armour save due to them being invisible, so I only managed to kill one of those. So there's just an Exarch and a Farseer left in that squad.
Eldar turn 3, the massive slaughter continues. Over here the Dire Avengers had a great idea that they would, whilst reloading, go and try and take out those 2 witches to save my artillery. Unfortunately I'm still not quite used to the 6th edition rules, and I ran up as close as I can, and now they can't see the witches, so they are not allowed to charge them. Not very good move there. This Wave Serpent moved around to take some shots at the Ravager, but didn't manage to do anything. But some real heroism over here. The Farseer foregoed casting invisibility and instead tried to psychic shriek the Hellions. Unfortunately, he denied the witch, but we charged in anyway. We did soften them up a bit with Shadow Weavers first. It wasn't utter suicide, but I think it was the Baron and 6 others against an Exarch and a Farseer. The Exarch and a Farseer wiped them out, only taking 1 wound on the Farseer, so that's a pretty amazing result. So we're trying to hunker down, and hopefully we can survive long enough to recast invisibility.
Okay, so it's a Dark Eldar, end of turn 4. So this turn I really wanted to get the Striking Scorpion and the Farseer out of this central building. Because we're playing via the City Fight rules, when you have scored a building, i.e. had a troop choice in there, or an elite choice in this case, and the enemy doesn't have one, you get to basically plant a flag as such in the building, and that building is yours until the opponent can take it back off you by being uncontested in there with a troop or an elite choice. So my only troop choice left really is these guys over here. So this turn they tried to run down, tried to move down, but they only got 2 inches on their move through cover, so couldn't get to the ground floor. They opened fire along with all of these Dark Eldar vehicles, that one over there and one in there, and the last shots, literally the last shots, managed to kill the Farseer and the Exarch in there, so he is now clear of the building, but because he was in there uncontested, it is still his, so it's my turn 4. If I don't get in there next turn, he's going to score the 6 victory points he gets for controlling the centre of the board. Over here I had 2 witches left. They charged in at the web weaver cannon things. We have engaged them in combat. I killed a crewman, but he made his leadership test, but they can't shoot this turn, so that's pretty handy. Other than that, we still have this tank over here, which we didn't deal with this turn. We're just hoping we can get to that central building before he does.
Eldar turn 4, there's not a whole lot left on the board for either side. These Dire Avengers have now reloaded and took some shots over at where that Ravager used to be, finishing it off. Not a Ravager, a Raider. The Wave Serpent skimmed around here and took some shots into the back of the Venom, which you can just about see tucked in there, but unfortunately it made its cover save and didn't die. In the battle of the Shadow Weavers versus the Witches, the Shadow Weavers have blocked the Witches in, so you can't see what's going on in there, but 1 Witch died to 2 Guardians, so there's 1 Witch left and 3 Guardians.
Okay, it's Dark Eldar turn 5. I needed to get the majority of one of my troop choices inside this building to be able to score it from him. So I leapt down the building and sprinted forward, but I could only get 3 of my models in, so I need another turn. So I need to hope it doesn't finish this turn. Paul only had left as a scoring unit his Dire Avengers, so if I could stop them getting in there, they couldn't stop me getting it back next turn, if you get what I mean. So I moved forward all my vehicles, which consist of a Ravager, a Raider, and this Venom, who has been taking pot shots all game from inside this building. They all moved over there and they all fired into the squad. I managed to take out the Exarch and 2 of the other members, but there are still 2 left, unfortunately. It's now going to be Paul's turn 5, and that might be the last turn of the game.
Eldar turn 5. The Guardians have abandoned their artillery and are trying to leave the board. They snap-fired up at the Witch but didn't manage to hit her. These 2 Dire Avengers jumped up and tried to kill the Witch as well. Over here, the Wave Serpent came steaming in through the wall and managed to knock the warriors back out of the building. I really wanted them to fail their morale check, because that would mean they were falling back and they definitely wouldn't be able to take the building next turn. But unfortunately they've stood firm, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to get half his models in if the game goes on. We've counted up, and if the game ends now, the Eldar will have snatched victory from the Jaws of Defeat by 3 victory points. If the game goes on, it's almost certain death for the Eldar. So let's see, on 1 or 2 the game is over. Balls. Turn 6 coming right up.
Dark Eldar turn 6. Pretty short one. The Venom moved forward, shot up there and killed all of the Dire Avengers. blank spot there. The 2 other vehicles took pot shots at the Wave Serpent, couldn't hurt it. I managed to make my good run roll and got my dudes in there, so I've now claimed the building. So unless Paul can wipe me off the table, he can't win the game. So end of my turn 6.
Okay, end of Eldar turn 6. Obviously one Wave Serpent isn't able to take out all of these things and claim the game by tabling him. So that's the end of the game. Unfortunately the Dark Eldar managed to take it. It was a really good game actually. After the first turn, when you seized initiative and wiped out most of my army, I was pretty much resigned to defeat.
Yes.
But slowly over the course of the game it started to shift back in my favour again.
The Harlequins and the Scorpions just beat me up in close combat every time I got in close combat with them.
They were fantastic.
That Farseer in the last Exarch wiping out 7 Hellions and the Baron was brutal.
The last game we played, I had a really nice Harlequin squad using the shrouding and the stealth for the first time, and I was amazed at how powerful it was.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try and get 2 such squads by having a squad with invisibility, and I was lucky enough to roll up the invisibility on my first roll, so I was all set to give it a go. And it was pretty powerful, invisible striking scorpions.
I had a huge amount of infantry fire with all the poison stuff, so I could put wounds on them, but it was still really good. I mean, I really like the mission actually. The central tower, because it's a really nice big central tower, I made it specially. There was enough space in there to do stuff, and it was quite to and fro. I mean, it changed hands at least 4 times this game, I think. Yeah,
you started in control of it when you seized, then I managed to take it back. No, I think it's changed control 3 times, because then you just took it at the end there.
Yes.
Yeah, and it all came down to who had most troops and elites, so who could cling on to holding on to them.
Yeah, because I only had one unit left that could score, and you just lost your last.
And all these like powerful ravages and all that kind of stuff just can't take the building. So
yeah,
they're not that useful.
No, really enjoyed that game though.
Really good game. Okay, so I think this is the end of the 4th phase of the Faaris IV campaign.
Yes.
So at the end of this, the Grey Knights control 4 regions.
That we do.
The Imperial Guard and the Eldar only control 2 each. So you're starting to get a clear
I suspect I
lead
shall be
now.
attacked on the next phase of the game.
Well, I don't think the Eldar can attack you, but you might get attacked by the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.